Bengal had provincial rule since the 1860s, when it was one of the largest and most populous provinces in British India. By 1947, when India gained independence, only about 11% of Indians were directly governed by the British. By 1947, the British administered 60% of the Indian population, and Indian princely states, Indian kingdoms, Indian tribes ruled over 40% of Indians. Bengal had provincial rule since the 1860s, when it was one of the largest and most populous provinces in British India. The province was ruled by a governor appointed by the British Crown, but it also had a legislative council that was elected by the people. The Government of India Act of 1935 gave more provincial rights to Bengal, including the right to control and minister their agriculture. This was a significant step towards self-government for Bengal, and it was welcomed by many Bengalis. The 1935 Bengal legislature was democratically elected, but it was dominated by the Hindu minority. The Muslim majority was underrepresented in the legislature, and this led to resentment and tension. In 1940, the Hindu-dominated council was re-elected, but this time the Muslim League boycotted the elections. The Muslim League was a political party that represented the interests of the Muslim minority in India. They were opposed to the Hindu-dominated Congress party, and they demanded a separate Muslim state. In 1942, the Bengal famine began. The famine was caused by a combination of factors, including a cyclone, a drought, and the diversion of food supplies to the war effort. The famine caused widespread suffering, and it was particularly severe in the Muslim-majority areas of Bengal. The Hindu-dominated council was blamed for the inadequate famine relief, and it was eventually kicked out of office. The Muslim League was then invited to form a government, and they used this opportunity to demand a separate Muslim state. The Bengal famine and the subsequent political crisis led to the partition of India in 1947. Bengal was divided into two parts, one for the Hindus and one for the Muslims. The partition of Bengal was a traumatic event, and it led to widespread violence and displacement.